We got another product review for all of you today. Today we are going over the Home Defense Pepper Projectile Launcher from SABRE. It's not a new item of theirs per se. I've had this, I've done some videos with it in the past. We've just never done a full up breakdown on it. So I had them send me a brand new one so we can do pretty much an unboxing, show you exactly what's in it, show you all the features, shoot it a little bit so you can kind of see how it works, and I will give you my full honest opinion. Now I have done some reviews of Byrna's projectile launchers. I'm a big fan of theirs. However, one of the biggest complaints that people have when it comes to those launchers, first and foremost, is the price. Those things are typically pushing like 400 bucks easily. This thing brand new out of the box is 200 bucks, if not less. I'm pretty sure even at the moment as we're filming this video, this is literally currently on sale for like 180 bucks. So if you are concerned about the financial aspect and you want one of these, this is definitely a cost saving option, but it still packs a hell of a punch. So first thing out of the gate, you do get a carrying case. Nothing special in my opinion. I'll be honest, I like the ones that Byrna have more just because it actually feels like an actual gun case. This is just kind of like a little baggie here, but again, still nice that they include it. You do get an instruction manual, which obviously that's kind of a guarantee. And then I believe that this is actually a paper target. So if you want to practice, because yes, you do get practice rounds, you actually have a target that you can set up and you can practice with. The projectile launcher itself, it comes with 2 CO2 cartridges. We'll talk about these here in a moment, but you can purchase extra ones from SABRE's website directly. The one really nice thing about this launcher in particular, and I am going to call out Byrna for this one, it actually comes with Pepper projectiles. If you were to purchase Byrna's projectile launcher, it does not. You have to purchase the Pepper projectiles separately. Now that could just be because of state laws and where Pepper's allowed and not allowed. I'm not 100% sure. But it is nice that when you do purchase this launcher, you are getting the actual Pepper rounds out of the gate. However, you are not getting the rubber rounds. The Byrna launchers do come with their rubber rounds, which sting and hurt like hell. We tested those, not a fun experience. But again, you don't get the Pepper rounds. This one, you get the Pepper rounds, no rubber rounds. You have to purchase those separately. Regardless, if you want any round to begin with, go to SABRE's website. They have containers of them. We'll show you some of them here shortly, but they have containers of them, so you can have a variety of rounds that you can pick from. Now, the other rounds that you do get out of the gate is the inert training formula. So essentially what this does is it still shoots and it creates a powder. However, this is just to kind of give you an idea of what the Pepper powder would actually look like, how it disperses, how big the cloud is. So when you're first training and learning how to use this, you practice with these rounds, and then that way you can kind of get an idea of what the Pepper rounds will actually look like, so you have an idea of how it will be in an actual real life situation. Now, because SABRE knew that we were going to be doing a full breakdown of this, they did send us some other rounds that we can use. So as I mentioned, you can purchase these on their website. So here you have a full container of their actual Pepper rounds. You can get a full container of their training rounds. Again, this is just a powder, doesn't harm you by any means. And then these are the impact projectiles, which we will show you just how tough these things actually are. But again, you can purchase all these on their website. That all said, I still love the fact that this launcher in particular does come with Pepper rounds out of the gate. First thing to take note with this is the bright yellow color. One of the comments that I typically saw when I was doing the reviews on the Byrna launchers was the fact that if they're black or the coyote brown, they look like real firearms, and somebody might mistake that as you are pointing a firearm at them, which could escalate the situation a little bit worse. Completely understand. However, this is a bright yellow. This cannot be confused for a real life firearm. If anything, this is going to look like a toy. Again, people still may react accordingly if they see you pointing something at them, so that's always a risk. However, this can't be mistaken. Very obvious that it is not a real firearm. There is no actual safety on there. The only safety is actually on the grip here. When you actually insert your palm, that will release the safety so that you can actually pull the trigger. So if you listen nice and closely, if I pull the trigger, you don't hear any noise. If I put any pressure on the back here and pull the trigger, you'll hear the clicking. That's when the actual launcher is launching. So yes, there is a safety. There's just not a switch that you actually have to flip. The moment you grip the launcher and you have it on sight, again, the safety is off at that point. Now, you do have a mag release. It is only on one side, so it's not ambidextrous, just so you are aware of that. Pop out the magazine. This is where you will insert the CO2 cartridge. Simply place it in. We're going to screw this to tighten it, punctures it at the top, and it's ready to go. Now, the nice thing about this magazine in particular, compared to some of the other launchers out there, is it holds 7 rounds compared to 5 rounds. And you have some nice iron sights on that thing. So again, you can get some good sights on target. It feels nice, like it is a little bit bigger. I will say the Byrna launchers, and I hate to do like a direct comparison, but that's really the only other launcher that I've played with directly. I like the Byrna launchers because of the fact that it fits in my hand like my actual firearm that I do carry. I carry a SIG macro. The new concealed version or the compact version of Byrna is almost identical size-wise to my macro. Fits real comfortably in my hand. This is a little bit bigger. This feels like an oversized firearm, but again, it gets the job done. I can still grip it, I can still hold it. You're not going to have that kick like a real firearm has, so it doesn't really matter if it is a little bit bigger for your hands. Again, we're simply just shooting projectile launchers out of this thing, so it doesn't take a rocket scientist to know how to hold this, aim, fire, and do what you need to do. Now, the one thing that I am curious about, and I'm actually going to test this right now, I know that you can load these in here. With the Byrna guns, when you put the CO2 cartridge in, it does not puncture the cartridge until you pull the trigger for the very first time. Based off of how this looks, because it looks like there's a puncture here, I am curious if when we insert this and tighten it, if it is going to puncture it right away. Because if it does, in my opinion, that is a big flaw, because the point of this is I can leave this near my front door. I can leave this in the side of my car door. I can leave this somewhere where I need quick access to protect myself in a moment's notice. And if this is slowly leaking out over time, then there's a good chance that when I ever do get to go to use this, it's going to be empty and I'm going to find myself in a bit of a pickle there. So let's put the CO2 in and see what happens. Insert the CO2. You're simply just going to turn this, turn it. And I believe there was you probably can't hear, but there was a small little puncture noise. So it's in now, right? It's in. Again, this is where the CO2 comes up into the actual launcher. I don't know if it's punctured or not. So again, simple way to find it out is we simply unturn it, look to take it out, and see what happens. And there you go. Giving you my honest feedback on this. I think this is a major flaw in this design. Now, I come from a pretty heavy background in paintball. Even if everything is tightly secured, trust me, if I leave my paintball marker with a tank in and tightened, over time that will slowly leak out. It's not going to happen in a day, it's not going to happen even in a week, but over time it will slowly leak out. So yes, even though you put it in and you didn't hear it leaking, over time it is punctured, it is slowly going to empty this cartridge. And again, my concern is that if this thing is sitting in your house or in your car door for weeks at a time and you find yourself in a road rage situation, somebody comes up and I need to pull it out and put some pepper rounds into this person, you might just be sitting there clicking and nothing's happening because there's no more air in the cartridge. And these are pretty simple to load, right? Simply just take it, pop it in. Doesn't take any muscle or heavy force to put these in. Cash, who's behind the camera right now, loaded a magazine for the first time yesterday with some 9mm rounds, and let's just say he struggled a little bit. So people like Cash, you can load these magazines pretty easily without any prior experience. We got 7 full inert training rounds in here. Again, I'm just gonna hit them up on a tree or a board to give you an idea of what the cloud looks like. Based off of the box, this thing can shoot upwards of 175 feet. That's great. Realistically, I would never use it that far of a distance, because if somebody is 175 feet away from me, I have all the time in the world to just get myself out of that situation as quickly as possible. What it does tell me though is that if this thing is able to launch 175 feet, that means that this thing packs a serious punch, so that if I'm firing this at somebody that's say 10 feet from me, hell even 15 feet from me, it's gonna hurt. It's gonna put some pressure on them, it's gonna hurt. We will be doing a separate video this summer on how much stopping power these launchers in general actually have against somebody that is adamant about getting hands-on with us. We're going to test this one along with a few others, Byrna included, and we're pretty much just going to have some people charging at us, trying to actually get onto us, and we're going to put some rubber rounds on them as well as pepper rounds and just see what is the actual stopping power, because it hurts. But again, depending on, like right now I'm in a couple layers, it's cold outside, I could probably take a few of these shots before it's actually going to stop me. Now if you hit me in the face or the throat, that's going to put me down right away. But taking rounds to the chest, I'm probably going to keep pushing. The other thing I'm concerned about with the launchers in general, not just sabers but all launchers, is if I'm full-blown sprinting at somebody and they hit me with a pepper projectile, yes, I'm going to feel the impact, and then the cloud's going to immediately go because I'm in the process of running. So I want to know how much of that pepper cloud I'm actually going to take in compared to how much is actually going to get blown past me if I'm in a full-blown sprint. So again, that video will be coming this summer. I put a board out there don't know if you can see it on camera. It's about 50 feet, a little bit more than 50 feet. We're still using the same CO2 cartridge, so I've put about 14, 16 rounds through it. I also don't know how much these cartridges take before they go out. So nonetheless, it's been shot a few times. Let's see from this distance how accurate it is. Shit. I'm thoroughly impressed. I'll be honest, I am thoroughly impressed, especially because, like I said, this has already had a few magazines through it. Slight dip a little bit. However, at no point was I adjusting for the drop. I was aiming straight on, and if it dipped or went up a little bit, that was just based off of the wind. So that being said, yes, could this thing fire at somebody that is 50 feet away? Sure. I'm guessing then that you would have no problem shooting it at someone that is 175 feet away. That all being said, if that is my attacker, or that is somebody that I am actively concerned about, I am not going to be using this on somebody that is that far away, because I am most likely going to miss. Or if I do land a shot, it's not going to be as impactful, because again, the farther you are, the less of the impact it's going to have. I would rather either wait till that person is within 15 feet tops, to where I know it's really going to make an impact, or even better yet, if they're that far away, just get the hell out of there. So these are the impact rounds. These are just kind of hard rubber, literally like hard rubber rounds. Now, when would you use these compared to pepper rounds? Personally, if you're asking me, in my honest opinion, as a safety self-defense expert, you could say, I would honestly mix this mag. I would mix this with pepper rounds and rubber rounds. Reason being, again, my concern with the pepper rounds is that, yes, I know I'm going to impact you. I know they're going to hurt. However, that powder is going to blow back if that person is actively charging you. My thought would be to load the first like 3 shots or so with rubber rounds to kind of get them to slow down and stop. And then when they're not moving as much, the remaining rounds are all pepper. And that's when they're going to take in the most. So first chunk of rounds, rubber rounds. Get them to stop, because these hurt. These don't break. And when the rounds don't break, they hurt a hell of a lot more than when they actually explode on impact. Stop them a little bit, slow them down, then you load them up with the rest of the pepper rounds. Now, I don't know if that's something that SABRE in particular would promote, but that is how I personally would load these mags. Now, that being said, let's just kind of see how impactful these are. We got some cans set up. Again, I kind of want to see just how accurate this is at close range. We got 7 rounds in here. We got 7 cans. Let's see how we do best out of 7. Don't judge me, by the way. All right, 3 out of 7. Not the best. Much better. So just to kind of give you an idea of what those do to aluminum cans, and we still have the round in there fully intact. And I could reload this and shoot it again if I wanted to. I will say overall, this thing is actually pretty accurate. I'm pretty impressed with this. Don't judge me based off the cans. That was a one-time fluke. Understand though that with any launcher, the farther that my target is, the harder it's going to be for me to actually make contact with that target, because I am going to have to adjust for the distance. I'm going to have to adjust for the wind or whatever the weather is that day. So final thoughts on this. I think it's a great option. I think, again, if you want a launcher to begin with, but you don't want to spend $400, $500, $600 on one, this is definitely a cost-saving option. Again, brand new out of the box, and honestly, I'm pretty sure it's like a bundle, so you even get more out of it. It's like $200, $210 tops. And again, at the moment of us filming this video, this is on sale for $180, and it comes with everything that I just showed you. So you can get one of these pretty cheap. You got nice sights on it. Again, it doesn't have a switch safety, but you do have a safety on the back to make sure that I have to actually be gripping it for it to work. You do have a mag release, but again, it is only on the left side. It is not ambidextrous. The magazine itself, that is where we load the CO2 cartridge. Just bear in mind that the moment you tighten this cartridge, you are puncturing the CO2. So the longer that this thing sits, the longer that this is going to have time to slowly leak out. Just bear that in mind. Magazine feeds real nicely. As you saw, we were able to rapid fire no problem. No jams, no lockups, nothing. I mean, we shot a ton of rounds today and we didn't have a single hiccup other than my crappy aim. It does fit 7 rounds in the magazine, which is better than the competitor's 5. Still nice and smooth. Again, shots go on pretty quickly. It is a little bit bigger. So understand that gripping it wise, it is a little bit bigger in the hand. Personally, like, I have no problem holding it and using it. I personally would probably not carry this one. I would probably, if I wanted a launcher and I really wanted a launcher, I would probably spend the money because of the fact that they fit a little bit nicer in my hand. I can actually conceal them right? I can actually have it in my waistband. I have holsters for them. Like, you can carry them on your person a little bit better. Trying to squeeze this into a crossbody bag or a purse or waistband or anything like that is going to be difficult or near impossible, or just not comfortable by any means. So if you are wanting to purchase one of these launchers, where should I keep it, David? Let me tell you, I would keep it in my door, in the car. Keep it on the driver's side door, maybe in the center glove compartment, you know, whatever. Store it in your car so that if something comes up, you're in a road rage situation, I can access it, put some pepper into the person, and get out of there safely. If you want this at your home, keep it at your nightstand, keep it by the front door. Again, keep it somewhere accessible so that if somebody were to break in or somebody were to gain access through the front of your house or barge in like a fake UPS driver or something that we've seen in the past, you have access to it and you can use it. Who is this marketed for? If you are a concealed carry owner like myself, you are probably gonna say, I would just carry my firearm. Well, yes, I do too, but I still have these in my car because not every situation calls for a firearm, and pepper and just pepper spray in general is honestly the best option between a harsh word and a firearm. And if I can use that to end a situation, I don't need my firearm to begin with. That being said, some people don't want firearms, or some people can't carry firearms based off their state or whatever. This is a good option for that. If you have any questions or concerns, drop them down in the comments below, but let me know your thoughts. Would you purchase this for your home defense? Stay safe.